What if the biggest risk in life isn't failure? What if it's comfort? Not the comfort of a warm bed, not the comfort of a quiet evening. The comfort of knowing exactly what tomorrow will look like. The comfort of staying where you are because it's familiar. The comfort of choosing certainty over possibility. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid failure, but in doing so, they accidentally avoid growth. They avoid challenges. They avoid opportunities. And years later, they look back and wonder where all the time went. The truth is, very few people wake up one morning and decide to settle for an average life. It happens gradually, quietly, one small decision at a time. This is Revlytic, where ideas meet the road. Tonight we're talking about the dangerous comfort of average. Average doesn't look dangerous. That's what makes it so powerful. If danger looked dangerous, everyone would avoid it. But average often arrives disguised as safety. It whispers that there's no need to take risks, no need to try something new, no need to challenge yourself. Just stay where you are. Stay comfortable, stay predictable, and for a while that advice feels reasonable. After all, comfort feels good. It feels safe. It protects us from embarrassment, rejection, uncertainty, and failure. The problem is the comfort also protects us from growth. Think about how many dreams quietly disappear because of comfort. Not because people aren't capable, not because they lack intelligence, not because they don't have potential, but because pursuing those dreams requires stepping into uncertainty. A person wants to start a business but stays in a job they dislike because it feels safer. Someone wants to learn a new skill but keeps postponing it because starting feels uncomfortable. Another person wants to improve their health but delays taking action because change feels difficult. In each case, comfort wins, not through force, through persuasion. Comfort convinces people that tomorrow will be a better time to start, but tomorrow has a habit of becoming next week. Next week becomes next month. Next month becomes next year. And before long, years have passed. One of the strangest things about life is that people often overestimate the risk of trying and underestimate the risk of standing still. They imagine every possible thing that could go wrong if they pursue a goal. They worry about failure, criticism, mistakes, and setbacks. But they rarely stop to consider what could happen if they never try at all. What happens if 10 years pass and nothing changes? What happens if you stay exactly where you are? What happens if your fears make every important decision for you? Those questions are uncomfortable, but they matter. Because the cost of staying comfortable is often invisible until it's too late. Many people spend years waiting until they feel ready. They wait until they have more confidence, more experience, more certainty, more motivation. But readiness is often an illusion. Most successful people weren't ready when they started. They simply started before they felt ready. They understood that confidence is not a prerequisite for action. Confidence is usually the result of action. Imagine learning how to swim. You can read books about swimming, watch videos, study techniques, talk to experts, but eventually you have to enter the water. Life works the same way. There are some lessons that can only be learned through experience, and there are some versions of yourself that can only be discovered by taking risks. The uncomfortable truth is that growth and comfort rarely coexist, at least not for very long. Every major improvement in life begins with discomfort. The discomfort of learning, the discomfort of failure, the discomfort of uncertainty, the discomfort of trying something new. Yet those temporary moments of discomfort often create the most meaningful transformations. Think back to the moments that changed your life. Chances are many of them started with uncertainty, a difficult decision, a challenging opportunity, a risk you weren't completely sure about taking. At the time, those moments probably felt uncomfortable. But looking back, they became important chapters in your story. The irony is that while comfort feels safe in the short term, growth often creates a deeper sense of security in the long term. When you challenge yourself, you develop skills, you gain experience, you become more adaptable, more capable, more resilient. You begin trusting yourself, and that trust is far more valuable than temporary comfort. As we continue this drive, consider this question. What area of your life have you been keeping comfortable for too long? Maybe it's a goal you've postponed. Maybe it's a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's a decision you've been delaying. Maybe it's a dream you've convinced yourself is unrealistic. Whatever it is, ask yourself one simple question. Is staying comfortable really serving me anymore? Because there comes a point when comfort stops protecting your future and starts limiting it. The goal isn't to live recklessly. The goal isn't to make impulsive decisions. The goal is simply to recognize when comfort has become a cage instead of a refuge. A cage doesn't always have bars. Sometimes it looks like routine, sometimes it looks like excuses, sometimes it looks like waiting for the perfect moment. But the result is often the same. You stay where you are while life keeps moving forward. As we reach the end of tonight's journey, here's one final thought. The life you want will almost always require a version of you that doesn't exist yet. A version that is braver, more disciplined, more willing to take action despite uncertainty. That version of you is not built inside your comfort zone. It's built one uncomfortable step at a time. So don't ask whether a challenge feels comfortable. Ask whether it moves you closer to the person you want to become. Because one day you will either be grateful that you took the risk, or you'll wonder what might have happened if you had. Thank you for spending this time with Revlytic. If tonight's journey gave you something to think about, then it was time well spent. Until our next drive, stay curious, keep growing, and keep moving forward. This is Revlytic, signing off.